is it possible for old dogs to learn new tricks in sales? Or asked another way, can older salespeople learn new sales skills, new abilities, and new techniques? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales. And a perfect day to talk to a seasoned salesperson and some sales sabotage that they may create. Now, there's been times where I've been asked to go in and coach sales teams for different organizations, and I see a trend or a common theme across people who do pretty well. I'm going to say pretty well. They do good. They do a good job, but they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told, like, this is another way to do it. So I'm going to remind you, if you're a salesperson and you're in a comfort zone right now and you're making the same amount of income that you made the year before and the year before that, somewhat, you still have sales skills. You still have an ability to learn, unless you're closing at like ridiculous 90% closing rate in your industry, okay? So I'll go to a place and I'll sit in front of a room and I'll say, look, here, use this technique, and someone will raise their hand, and I'm gonna give you some characteristics of this person. It's gonna be typical. This isn't gonna be always, but this is gonna be the characteristics. They're somewhere between 45 and 60, and they make, in the industries that I work in, between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, and they're comfortable, right? And this is what they say. They raise their hand, and like usually, their arms are folded first, right? Their arms are folded, and then they raise their hand. They're like, I don't know if I really want to do that. And all right, I already know where this is going, so I'm sitting in the front of the room like, oh, all right, well, tell me why. Well, I can't see myself asking that question or making that statement or doing that in my presentation. And, this is me. You know what? I hear a big but coming, right? What is the problem? What is the concern? Well, that's just uncomfortable for me. So here's the thing. If you've been in sales for a while and you've peaked in your income, the chances are good that you do need some more skills. The chances are good you do need to step outside of your comfort zone. The chances are really good that you should find somebody who's willing to teach you how to do that. Now, understand what I'm not saying is to change your ethics and change your beliefs, but you should learn how to ask better questions. You should learn how to reapply closing situations. You should learn how to gain commitment. You should learn how to anchor. That would be a good thing for you to do too, right? So there's a lot of things that you can learn how to do, but if you've peaked and you're like, I'm good enough at what I do, at that point, there's no reason for you to go in and even watch any other sales trainers or take any sales training, because you're just going to drag everybody else down. You're just going to look around and everybody else is going to look up to that salesperson or look up to you and be like, well, if that guy is not going to do it, then I'm not going to do it either, okay? So there is another point in here that happens that I've seen twice now in almost 7.5 years of training people. That big dog in the room wants to stay the big dog in the room and wants to make sure that he's sabotaging all the other salespeople around him, because he knows that sales advice or that sales tactic or that sales strategy is going to work. So what he's doing is he's like, I want to make sure that I'm the big boy in the room, I'm the big dog in the room, and I'm just going to blow up all this stuff that's going on for the sales trainer so that I really don't have competition, right? There's some salespeople that are really notorious for this, that they'll go to a new sales guy that they look at as competition and do everything they can to push them out so that they stay the big dog, okay? So there's two things going on. One, the salesperson will not get out of the way of their own beliefs and their own abilities. And two, they're doing it against the rest of the people in the sales room so that they don't have competition, so they don't have to work very hard. So I'm just gonna remind you, a good sales trainer should push your boundaries, right? They should make you like, wow, that might be a little bit uncomfortable for me, but everything's uncomfortable the first time. I remember the first time that I kissed a girl, it was uncomfortable. The first time I rode a bike, it was uncomfortable. The first time that I drove a car, it was uncomfortable. The first time that I spoke in front of a room of 200 people, that was uncomfortable. The first time that I stepped in front of another company to train, that was uncomfortable. But over time, you develop these skills. But I'm gonna remind you, lying, cheating, and stealing, leave all that stuff out. You don't need to do it, right? There's plenty of money to be made in sales. But be willing to implement. If you're looking around like, I'm the old dog sitting on the porch and I'm not willing to do that stuff, you should ask yourself, are you okay with where you're at? Don't you want more income? You're going to run the same amount of sales calls. If you run, and I'm just going to give you a number, if you run between 200 and 400 sales calls every year consistently, let's say 300, you're going to go on 300 calls. Why would you not do everything you can to close those 300 calls to maximize your time and maximize your income? Learn how to ask better questions, how to tell better stories, and close more sales. So there you go. Can old dogs learn new tricks? Yes, they can. Sometimes they don't want to because they're out of their own comfort zone, and sometimes they don't want to get other people to do it because it's going to make them work. So there you go. Now, If you could do a small favor for me, in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story. That would be fantastic. To the right, to the left, somewhere in here, there's a subscribe button. You know what you got to do. You got to subscribe. And then last off, you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Why not even LinkedIn? Scott Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.